Jordan Campbell, take 11. Hey everyone, my name is Jordan Campbell and I'm the Director of Media Programs at Hook Arts Media. I'm proud to present this latest batch of films from not only our In Transition Spring 2020 class, but also our Digital Bootcamp Summer 2020 class. Since filmmaking is an art form that thrives in a team environment and working alongside a group, it was definitely a challenge to not only teach filmmaking virtually, but also to make films in this isolated environment that we all find ourselves in. One of the reasons I'm so proud to present these films is because it shows our students' ability to adapt to their environment and still make quality work. These films truly come from their heart and express their feelings about the times that we're living in. I want to take this moment to thank my co-teacher, Henry Arroyo, and all the folks at the Hook Arts Media Office, Maria Soriano, Heather Harvey, Martha Bowers, Kira DeCudras. You guys are all, as always, super instrumental in this program getting done. And once again, thank you all for coming to the screening. Enjoy the film.
Hello, this is Miguel Trigueros. I'm in my 12th year of high school. I go to Cyber Art Studio Academy. This is how my life has changed because of the coronavirus. During this quarantine, I haven't really left my house. I've stayed mostly in my room since my parents don't let me go out. I understand it's something for my own good and for everyone that's going through this as well. Some of the ways I've entertained myself during this time is by eating, watching Netflix, doing my homework, playing Xbox, and communicating with my friends. Even though it's something that keeps repeating on and on every day and it's getting boring, I've been able to get everything done for college, deciding the college I'm going to, and overall catching on my sleep. But this is how my life is going through quarantine.
My name is Genesis. I'm in 6th grade. I go to MS88. Coronavirus has changed my routine. Not seeing my friends, not going outside. Everything's completely closed and I miss my teachers. I'm having trouble with online school since I'm not getting the help I need from my teachers because they are helping other students, and as well, they got things to do, and overall, this is making me hand in my work late. It's getting bored already because there's nothing to do in the house, and I miss going outside, going to school. The pros of going to school is I used to get assignments. The teacher used to help me with them. And now that I use a computer, it gets difficult for me because sometimes they're busy and they cannot help us, and yeah.
My name is Rana and I'm going to be talking about my day life in quarantine. So in quarantine, I've been trying to get my schoolwork done. I've been trying to get into my online classes early as I can so I could soon graduate. I've been mostly focused on music and singing. I go through my Instagram page and I start seeing my followers, and it motivates me because people would give me so much love and support, and I would really appreciate it. I've been going to my room, writing songs and matching up the instrumental beats with it. I just hope I get somewhere in life, no matter the struggle. It's also the month of Ramadan, and honestly, it's not that bad. Like the years before, we would always have to go outside, and while we're fasting, it would be so hot, and now it's just so much easier. You just stay home while doing it. But mostly overall, I miss my friends. I miss going outside with them. I miss associating with them in person. I'm always looking through our memories. It's like getting really sad, life is really changing, so.
My name is Rhonda and I attend John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I'm an undergraduate student. Ever since this pandemic, things have been limited, but they've truly tried to increase our learning experience by transitioning everything to online classes. So this is where we've been attempting to get our work done and get through the semester. I am facing a bit of confusion because I initially signed up for in-person classes, and now that everything's transitioned to online classes, it's been difficult because usually, you can't ask questions automatically to your teacher. Everything's like online. Well, some professors won't email me on time, or they won't even respond to my email. This could be a hazard to my learning experience because I need to have a consistent email with the professors to get updated on the assignments. If I was a teacher, I would definitely grant some students the ability to have grades because not each student had the opportunity to assume that this pandemic would cross their path, so yeah.
Alfred Prince Edwards, born July 6, 2001, is a filmmaker, artist, and photographer based out of New York City. Throughout his years of high school, Alfred sought out to gain experience in the film industry, finally finding employment in 2018 through a mixed media company based in Brooklyn, Hook Arts Media. Okay, hi. Thank you for sitting down with me given all the circumstances that we're going through right now. Could you just take a second and introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Alfred Edwards, and I'm you.
So, for my first question, I was just wondering if you had one word to describe quarantine, what would it be?
I don't know. I feel like this whole process for quarantine has been really confusing as to the way I feel towards it, I guess.
No, I can definitely see where you're coming from. There's like a huge blur at the moment between like the different sides. Some people want to stay in while other people just really want to go out. So it's really easy to get confused as to like where you stand. So, for my next question, I was just kind of wondering what you've been doing to keep yourself busy, since during this whole quarantine thing, it can get really easy to fall into the same patterns, just doing the same thing day after day.
I don't know. I've been trying to be productive through different things, like editing, for example. I've been trying out a few new effects that I'm definitely excited to show people. Skating is another thing that I've definitely tried to pick up. Wherever I go, I'll just try to skate around, just have fun with it and try to improve before summer comes. Hopefully we're out of this by then.
Well, I think we've gone over the time limit here, so thank you again for sitting down with me and answering these questions. For many years, New York City has been a massive trendsetter for art around the globe. Supreme New York, created by James W. in 1994 in the Soho district, Manhattan, is a prime example of this phenomenon. You've probably heard about the brand through the internet, word of mouth, or even visiting one of the stores. The brand being so well known in the public eye is to be expected, given that Supreme's expanded far beyond New York City, having stores in LA, Paris, London, and Tokyo, to name a few of the locations. One of the downsides to the hype around the brand is their long lines. Supreme has customers line up in front of their stores every week for a new release through reservation. Even casual shoppers or tourists have to abide by this release method. So, what do the people behind the brand and the people actually waiting in these lines think?
How do you feel about the kids who are sleeping outside, getting rained on?
I said, God bless them. You know what I mean? Like, it's putting food on my table. And I'm pretty sure if I was 15, I'd be online too. Kids are out there, connecting and politicking, and I feel like the lines now have become like the new record shop.
Some people even travel large distances just to get a space online to secure the latest items.
I was like, yeah, I came in from Chicago. So yeah, I came in from Indonesia. I was like, I think that beats me.
Just flew out yesterday. I reached in the morning. I need to fly back again at night.
Overall, based on these comments, it seems like the popularity of Supreme will only increase from here on out.
I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers. The mob comes equipped for warfare. Beware of my crime family who got enough shots to share for all those who wanna profile and pose. Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. You all alone in these streets, cousin. Every man for theyself in his land, we be gunning. And keep them shook crews running like they supposed.
For me, it has been 62 days in quarantine, and I wouldn't say my life was extremely altered. It was, though, in the sense of me not obviously being able to travel anywhere. I just tried to hit all my priorities in the day, and even though I'm not in college right now, I strive to continue learning about film. I mean, without my family, I feel like this experience definitely would have been a little bit more easier, but I do feel like with the isolation of everything, I do feel like they helped in that. If I was isolated by myself, I honestly feel like I would be going crazy right now. But the fact that I do have 6 other people in my house, it gives me a wide range of interaction, But for the most part, I would say I'm excited for the opportunities that might come after this. My advice would be to have a routine and to keep striving for what you want in this life, because even though this pandemic has kind of inhibited us, I think it shouldn't stop you from ever pursuing your dreams. So I don't know if that made sense. I don't know if that made sense. I don't know if that made sense or not.
What's good? It's your boy, Johnny Bravo, producer for Entourage Productions, also Naomi's big brother. I've been doing it for a minute. I'm gonna say like 5 to 6 years seriously, like getting paid for and get the checks coming in from different labels. But I've been a musician for like, let's say 15, 20 years, like, playing the sax, playing a little bit of drums, a little bit of keys, but I try and dabble at everything. Yeah, I just find myself doing production and find a love and passion for doing it. So my motivation to keep networking, especially during this time, is like stay connected with everybody that you built relationship with. Different artists, different producers, different singers, different songwriters. Anybody you had contact with or has potential, you see potential to see them doing like a lot of great things and a lot of great music. You just stay connected. You just text them, inbox them, whatever you do, is just to keep that relationship going and keep working. I am nervous to be exposed because, we had little scares here and there, between our family, but I feel like we still got to get the work done. Like, even though this is all going on and a lot of people's dying, honestly, work can't stop, And even though the world stopped a little bit, there's still streaming music. There's still, everybody's in quarantine playing music. So I feel like even though the pandemic is really like taking a toll, I think the music industry is still, it's definitely still going. People are taking meetings through via FaceTime or Instagram or whatever. Technology, especially nowadays, has really elevated to where you can get stuff done. Not seeing each other or not being around or not face to face, but you can still get stuff done like contracts and stuff like that. So, certain things you can get done, but the face to face is what they're trying to do now is just FaceTime or Instagram or whatever. Like, they get it done regardless. Because honestly, the world gotta keep moving, even though this pandemic happened. Like, people are still getting signed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta keep working. For me as a producer, I'm making beats all the time. So the more beats I make is the more I can dish out to artists and different artists I fuck with. So the music industry don't stop, period. Even though, there might be hold on certain things, but it's still not stopping. I'm pretty sure a lot of people still grinding in the studio or in the house studio, making some fire. So, like, they not gonna stop. Like, niggas not gonna stop making fire. Like, so that, be working, man. Quarantine vibes, you feel me? Like, Corona, feel me? It's crazy out here. Corona sessions.
Alright.
Hi everyone, today's topic is about how I am dealing with being stuck at home, aka quarantine. Quarantine started about 2 months ago, or like a month and a half ago, and so far I am sick of it. I have not been able to go outside at all. Like my dad, he literally closed the doors and told us we cannot leave because he's afraid that we will catch the coronavirus. Some ways that I've been trying to entertain myself was through my TikTok videos, cooking for myself and my siblings, and watching a lot of Netflix movies and TV shows. Also, it is Ramadan, so for us Muslims, we have to fast from sunrise to sunset. And that has been interesting. Before quarantine, we would go to our masjids and break our fast together with the whole community. That is one thing that I miss. I miss breaking my fast with my community. Even though there are so many negatives to this quarantine, I feel like it's made me a lot more mature. I have been able to talk to my colleges, get my financial aid, like get them all done by myself, which is very, very cool because now I know like what it is to become a grown-up, technically grown-up. So yeah, that's all I have from my quarantine and how I'm dealing with quarantine.
My name is Redwan Khalid. In the beginning of quarantine, I felt really good. It felt like it was like summer break or like a break from school. But after these days, it got worse. 2 reasons, cause there's 2 viruses now. Cause there's a hantavirus that's more deadlier than the coronavirus, and also I'm scared of the coronavirus overtaking the plague.
He meant to say the plague.
The days felt like repetitive because I eat, play with my computer, watch video, and sleep and over. I miss all my friends and me having fun outside and going to the park. So I play with my sisters. But still, it gets lonely sometimes. I wish quarantine would be over so everything could be back to normal. Bye.
Given the dense history of New York City, it's impossible to trace back the exact moment in which homelessness became the issue that it is for the city today. Instead, the issue of homelessness grew within New York as a result of a variety of environmental conditions. For example, during the first 2 decades of the 20th century, immigration from foreign countries were on the rise as a result of the infamous American dream. Many immigrants were under the illusion that America could present them with a better life, which then led to many being shocked after people struggled to find work and get by during this time. This led to many families having to reside in abandoned areas of the city or cramped apartments when skid rows stretched beyond their limits of occupation. The amount of homeless people within New York City only grew once the Great Depression hit in the 1930s and remained to be an issue during the beginning and end of World War II. In late March 2020, New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo issued a stay-at-home order as a measure to prevent further spread of COVID-19 within the state. While to many, this order provoked questions as to when people would be able to resume the lives that they had led up to this point, however, there was a key question that many neglected. What does the stay-at-home order do for those that didn't have a home to begin with?
My thoughts on homelessness in America is I feel like there's really a lot of homeless people, and the government is not really doing anything to take care of these homeless people.
It's a shame that we have so many homeless people. It should never be like this.
In recent years, many sources report homelessness have reached its highest level since the Great Depression in New York. In 2019 alone, 132,660 people were reported to be sleeping within the city's shelter system, a number 61% higher than it had been just a decade ago. The start of COVID-19 has done little to decrease these numbers as well, given that in May 2020 alone, there were over 50,000 people within these shelters, with families making up 2/3 of the homeless shelter population.
While we can quarantine ourselves and be safe from the pandemic, they have nowhere to go. They go to a shelter that's probably jam-packed with other homeless people. 9 times out of 10, they have other illnesses, weakened immune systems.
You see a lot of homeless people sleeping in the streets, and most of the time cops people can pass and they won't really do anything. They'll just look.
Let's just say if I was able to pass a law, I would just pass an act that would be able to help all homeless people, no matter their situation, be they addict, be they not, be they sick, or be they healthy. Because the range of homeless people could go from a 20-year-old that just dropped out of high school that was kicked out by his parents to a 45-year-old Army veteran that has nowhere else to go.
I will make a law that if anybody, if any government or any person upper would see a homeless person, they would take them to shelters.
Punch them all out of the government, get them all out, and put new people in that know what they're doing. You can't just put people in and not know what they're doing. The government knows how to stop homelessness. They should have stopped it a long time ago.
If anything happens to them, they can't go to a hospital to get the assistance they need. They can't really do anything. They don't have the money for it. So
some of them don't even have health insurance. Well, they should introduce better health care or free health care. We should follow in the footsteps of other more established first world countries. Maybe even free education so they could learn more skills so they could have better chances at jobs, equal opportunities.
Staying unaware or neglectful to the issue of homelessness is part of the problem. No matter how you look at it, those who are homeless should have just as much opportunity to have a home as anyone else in a different financial situation. With that being said, change can be made to make this dream a reality, but as a city and as a country, we must be united and actively work towards diminishing homelessness.
Since the beginning of the human race, injustice has distressed generations of oppressed communities. These injustices caused many communities to build organizations so society could no longer ignore their concerns. To this day, many of us are still fighting for our basic rights. The BLM movement has transformed into a huge organization, advancing the African American agenda through acknowledging the discrimination people of color go through in America. Throughout the progression of the BLM movement, a rift was created between its members pertaining to the Black LGBTQ issues. For example, the discrimination of Black transgender women and the sexuality of some of the leaders within the movement. To get a sample on society's thoughts, my team and I ventured around our neighborhood in search of some people willing to talk about these issues.
I feel like everything the voices they're doing is really powerful. So I feel like everyone has a right and we should all be in the same terms of equality.
I think it's becoming problematic. I think the LGBTQ community use civil rights principles and achievements to further their own cause, and then kind of like abandon the whole Black Lives Matter movement into now, where it's like re-emerging with it to support. But I think that just like the institutional racism that we're facing, I think that inside the LGBT community, there's a lot of still white privilege within that community.
All these people with the whole all lives matter argument, they can't until Black Lives Matter.
So even within the LGBT community, I feel like there are still hidden biases and prejudices and racisms that exist. And I feel like until those are answered within that own sphere, in that own community, it's still gonna always be problematic.
Are you aware that some of the founders are a part of LGBTQ?
Yeah, but they're not open with it as they should be.
I mean, it's not something I looked into, but I wouldn't be surprised. Again, it's like human dignity, human rights. It's the same struggle.
We're not ready yet. Yeah. We're getting there, but we're not ready to accept people the way they are, all people.
Regarding LGBTQ, it's the same thing. They're just really fighting to be like everyone else, to have the same exact rights everybody should have, the same rights as everybody else.
When people talk about fighting for the same, it's no way you could compare the two. There's no way.
If you let things bother you versus just go with what needs to be done, uplift everybody, then we should be good.
I think everything should get lumped up together, and then we should just kind of separate all the fucking dumb people and just make them go somewhere.
Just, I'm alive, I'm a person, respect me. Do what you want to do with your boat, but don't sink mine.
I've been a performer, per se, on stage and professionally, maybe 3 years now. Along with all of that, I've gotten to just do more advocacy and community work and really become one of the voices within my community. I think what's important is to not bring more diversity, yes, it's great that we have the labels that we have. It's great that we are now able to identify and distinguish all of what we know. But then let's not let those boxes limit us, because at the end of the day, we're limitless. And we're so much more than what is here and now. And we're infinite. We're amazing kings. I'm excited to see where we're going.
Supporting Black Lives Matter shouldn't include picking and choosing which issues are deemed more important. If people of color, no matter their sexuality or gender, are suffering, then they have the right to voice their hardships. The identities within the Black community are complex. We do not fit into a singular structure. So to separate these issues would divide this movement and ensure regression of our progress.